In January and February, I lived in Chiapas de Corzo, a town of about 50,000 people. In January, the city celebrates a great festival. It celebrates a number of different things, from the patron saint of San Sebastian to the pre-Catholic legend of the Perechicos. Because it is a legend, there are a number of opposing stories. I will share a very general version of the legend, combining multiple sources. Long ago, a Spanish woman came to Chiapas to seek a cure for her son's unknown illness. Chiapas area was in a famine at the time, and the woman said that if her son was healed, she would provide food for everyone in the area. A local curandero, a shaman, saw the boy and said his illness was sadness, and sent the boy to bathe in a local hot spring. He was miraculously cured, and in celebration, his mom threw the mother of all parties. Food was distributed to everyone. Today in the festival, men dress up as women supposedly because food was only distributed to the women, and of course men wanted the food as well. My friends and I had a grand time taking part in these festivities. Practically everyone in town joins in, dressing up in the traditional garb. These are the Perechicos. According to the legend, they are called that because when asked why they were dancing, they responded, "For the boy, para el chico," in Espanol. On a side note, the carnival workers in Mexico are just as interesting as they are in the US. El Fiesta Grande de Enero es muy especial para mí porque es un fiesta para un chico triste. Y soy un chico triste, pero no más. Ahora con calor y sol soy contento. The Great January Festival was very special for me because it's a festival celebrating the healing of a depressed boy. And I was a depressed boy. But no more. Now, with heat and sun, I am content. I will visit northern climates again, but I feel more at home in the sun. Dancing is much more the norm here than in the USA. It's in the Latinos' blood. Estado Chiapas es muy rico. Aquí tengo cascadas de agua, cuevas, cañones grandes, ríos grandes, monos, cocodrilos y árboles. La vida aquí es bella. Chiapas State is very rich. Here there are waterfalls, caves, grand canyons, great rivers, monkeys, crocodiles, and trees. Life here is beautiful. This way of life is so blissful, so rich and rewarding. I don't plan to stop traveling anytime soon. I also decided to go vegan here to cut out animal products from my diet. I have not been completely successful. Did you know that milk powder is in some potato chips? But I have decided that veganism is definitely for me, and for everyone. It requires a little sacrifice, but it is worth it. I am no longer contributing to the factory farming of animals, which is both torturous to the animal and bad for the planet. Did you know that animal agriculture as an industry puts more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere than the entire transportation industry combined? I really don't want to put myself on a pedestal here, though. I have only been vegan for 2 months of my life, and of course there is still so much I can do to reduce my carbon footprint. According to ShrinkThatFootprint.com, fruit production has a slightly larger carbon footprint than dairy production. Vegan or not, our comfortable society only exists because us humans cut down trees, dam rivers, and burn oil and coal. Speaking of food, I often find apples from Washington State here. Most of you know that 4 years ago I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and though I no longer identify as having a disorder, I still take medication for it. Being in a hot climate has seemed to make depression a thing of the past. Of course, I still get sad, but that's very different than depression. This January, I did get very manic. That's the high of bipolar, which for me means limitless energy, enthusiasm, insomnia, and thinking I may be the Messiah. No joke, I have thought that. Coming down from mania often implies crashing into depression, but that has not happened this year. I am lucky that while many people take drugs to get high, I get high unless I take drugs. This is my best friend here, Steven, and when I was too manic to concentrate in class, he helped me with homework a lot.
You're beautiful. You're beautiful.
Speaking of homework, I came to Chiapas de Corzo to teach English as a second language. January was spent in classes learning how to teach English. I lived with a lovely host family. As the class progressed, it became clear that though I love working in the classroom, I don't have the attention span to be a teacher myself in the traditional sense. I had no idea how much time I would be spending planning lessons. As I took the class, I determined that I was more passionate about being a peace activist than an English teacher, and so I happily finished the class, got my certificate, and determined to keep traveling, focusing on learning Spanish. We all owe our teachers a huge thank you. Their job is such a labor of love. Today, let's stop what we're doing and call or email our teachers and thank them. As this spiritual journey continues, I will say that though I'm no longer associating myself with any specific church, the message of Jesus Christ Yeshua continues to motivate and shape me greatly. I long to be a person who exists solely to bless others, to work for peace in this world. Just this week, I was at a gathering with a Mexican shaman here in Palenque named Miguel Angel. After the ceremony, Miguel gave a blessing. I will paraphrase him and pass this blessing on to you. Let us be a people who use every tool we have, every drop of energy in our body to thank and worship our Mother and Father God. And what greater example can we follow than that of Christ, the one who gave his greatest gift, life itself, as an act of unconditional love for humanity. Let us live this life with the Spirit of Christ.